Welcome back. Today we're at Johnson Thermal Systems. We're here with Ben Fox, CFO of GTS, Johnson Thermal. Welcome, Ben.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for having us on the podcast.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, absolutely.
So we are at your HQ in Caldwell, one of the best kept, big company secrets, not like hidden. But thank you so much for having us. Can you tell us a little bit about you and just give us a snapshot on who JTS is?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for coming. And we are a kept secret back here. We're tucked back here, but we enjoy being in Caldwell. So I appreciate that. My name is Ben Fox. I've been with JTS since 2020. We've seen a lot of rapid growth and change. Me personally, married, 4 kids. I'm originally from Salt Lake City, so don't hold that against me, but proud to call the Treasure Valley home. There's no leaving. We absolutely love this place. So I've been in accounting for a long time, started my career in Salt Lake with public accounting, all that fun stuff. Really had a joy and a love for manufacturing, specific to accounting. That's where I find a lot of joy. It's more exciting. It's a little more intricate in some ways as far as accounting goes. So that's me personally. Johnson Thermal Systems, or JTS, as we're leaning a little bit more towards JTS. It's easier to say, easier all those things. JTS has been doing business for a long time. So the original founder, he was from California. Or I should say founders. It was Jeff and Sherry Johnson. They started this company in California, and it was Johnson Thermal Systems. They were focusing on chillers and condensers and those types of products. They relocated to Idaho. Brought their company up here and kept working that company. Over the years, it was growing. They brought in some other investors. Those other investors kind of helped take it to a higher level, or the next level, I would say. And they brought what we call our power division. So the legacy business was the thermal side, doing chillers, condensers, building those types of units for industrial applications, food storage, microbreweries, all kinds of. If you needed something cold, generally you use a chiller or a condensing unit of some sort. So over the years, right, this new division through another family that got involved with the Johnsons, they're the Erlebachs. They brought kind of the power division to this entity, and the power division, it's essentially what we're doing is we're creating generator enclosures. That's kind of the main side of the power division. Is we're taking a big Caterpillar generator and we're putting a big package around it. We're putting the big steel walls and a big fuel tank underneath. And so that is kind of the history, and that's where we've kind of grown. So we're still doing both. We're still in the thermal business, and that's the legacy business, and the power side of the business is really what's kind of taken off. And that backup power generation is primarily being used for data centers. So our big customers are the Amazons and Microsofts of the world. So that's JTS in a nutshell over the years. So,
cool. Well, thanks for the quick summary on everything. I was going to ask you where might we find some of those power, entities out and about. So some of the bigger companies, for the data stuff, right?
Yeah. Yep. And that's what's wild is those data centers exist. And speaking of JTS, we're kind of hidden back in plain sight in here. Some of those data centers, they are kind of hidden in plain sight. And you'll just see these huge warehouses, and outside of those warehouses, there'll be 20 of these large, I don't know if we can see up here, 20 of these large units. And really, it's just backup power generation. So in case the power grid goes down, all these generators power up, and they're
keep the cloud going.
Keep the cloud going because everything's in the cloud, right? So keep posting on all your social media, keep watching the Netflix, keep posting all of your stuff in the cloud because that's what keeps us in business, really.
Cool.
So
Where's the nearest one of those? The like the centers for all the technology and all that.
I would say the nearest one to us, and that's really what kind of gives us a competitive advantage, being located in Caldwell. There's a lot of stuff up in like the Wenatchee area, and so a lot in Oregon and Washington State is really where a lot of them are. And again, if you're driving and you blink, you'll miss them. They're kind of hidden in plain sight. But again, that's what has given us a really nice competitive advantage, being close to those sites. So we're working on, but we are starting to spread across the U.S. and we've got competitors that are on the East Coast, and really there's a lot of competition out there. But so we have we kind of have a strategic advantage here in the Pacific Northwest, but we're starting to reach out into Wyoming and Ohio and Virginia and those types of areas as well. So
Right. One thing I wanted to just kind of bring up briefly is we talked to, well, I and a few of us talked to a lot of different young adults, students getting out of high school that are trying to achieve, big things, and there's even some people moving in, transplants that are doing great things. They're professionals. JTS is actually a really great employer.
yeah,
So for me, selfishly, I want to we want our next generation to have reasons to come back. For example, like, hey, go to college here or somewhere. Hopefully you can come back and find a great job somewhere here.
yeah,
But when I think about JTS and companies like it, I think, hey, this is a great opportunity for these professionals to come back and reintegrate into the Canyon County or Caldwell area. So tell us about the work culture here and who are the type of people you look to attract here.
yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. So I would say, to answer that question, we are looking for obviously hardworking individuals, but I will tell you, we do try to have a lot of fun and company picnics, company parties, those types of things. Like, the culture at JTS is what really I feel like is what attracts talent, and that's what we want to be. Is we want to be an employer of choice, not only in this side of the Treasure Valley, but in the Treasure Valley. We want people. You see the traffic. Everyone's heading this way into Boise, right?
Hmm.
We want people from that side of the valley headed to JTS and to this side of the valley to come work, right? Um, and I know I'm painting with a broad brush there, but that's generally what you see from traffic. So we want people to come here and be out on this side of the valley. So, but really hardworking people that want to impact and change and help us grow. We are growing. We're growing tremendously. We're putting up another facility. It's a second facility to this one, in Nampa. And we need leadership. We need growth-minded individuals, people that want to get in and work hard, because this business is growing and we are going to continue to grow both here in the Treasure Valley and outside of it as well.
So I know you work with a lot of engineers, but what are some of the other backgrounds that you're kind of looking for?
Engineering, I can always use more accountants, we I would say engineering is probably one of those that we need more engineering support, because the things that we're building are getting bigger and more complex, and our customers are, they want to change designs of buildings sometimes. So that's a huge process that we have to go through to, structurally make sure it fits all the specs. It works with the engine manufacturers, with the Caterpillars and the Cummins. Engineering's huge. All kinds of operations, supply chain, those types of folks, and then people out in the shop, people with welding experience, people with fabrication experience, people with diesel mechanic experience in some regards, because we're taking that diesel engine and we're essentially building the shell to it, but then we're kind of hooking things up a little bit, right? Electricians, because if you go inside of one of these units, you'll see, it's an engine with all of the cables going to all the different systems, and then those cables are going out to essentially get plugged into the building. So electricians, those types of things. I mean, but again, we need people. We need people, and we're growing, and we're just going to continue to grow. The data center market is just growing. Just recently, it's been announced all of the large investments that are happening in this space. JTS wants to be there to capture as much of that market share as we can. So we need people, talented people.
Great. It sounds like a wide variety too. The people that, hey, maybe I go to trade school for a little bit, but not like the 4-year university.
Yeah,
Like you said, with the welders and whatnot, and then the people who are trying to go to the universities, the engineering, the accountings, that world. So that's great.
absolutely. All needed across the board. We need to grow. There's a lot of things that, we've been running, with kind of the history of this growth that JTS has gone through. There's been transformations, right? Transformations in ownership and ownership styles, and at the end of the day, we've got to grow. We've got to sharpen the pencil in some of these things with better process, better everything. So we need talent. We definitely do.
One thing I want to pause for a moment and just say thank you for, on behalf of the city and the Mayor's Youth Advisory Council. JTS has done a great job just supporting some of our events. The Mayor's Youth Advisory Council Gala in the past that, there's about, over 100 students in our council, and there's like 13 schools represented, and you guys helped to support them. Our 4th of July that kind of supports veterans organizations, and then our golf scramble that has a different recipient every single year that the mayor chooses. And so last year you guys helped us with the why. This year we're doing the mentoring network, and you guys are our title sponsor.
Yep.
For that, which is in September. It's the Friday after Labor Day. Just a big thank you for being a title sponsor. A big thank you for supporting the mentoring network and all that they do. Just want to shout that out. Just thanks for being a part of the community and supporting the community.
Absolutely. We are proud to be a part of that community. That is what matters. That is what we see as matters. I will say, this isn't Ben Fox that's writing those checks, right? This is JTS, and on behalf of our ownership group of Mission Critical Group, it's our parent company. They're very proud, and we are very proud to continue to have a focus on community and a focus on making sure that we are an employer of choice, and that people want to come work for us, and we're giving back to the community, because the community, it matters. It's very important. So we're honored. We're thrilled to be involved. Caldwell's been great to us, and so we're excited to keep giving back and keep being involved. So thank you guys. Thank you guys for all you do.
Well, thank you guys. I want to give a couple of shout outs to some of your teammates.
Please do. If you don't, I will.
Okay, so Eric has been so great to work with.
Eric Blessinger.
So he reached out, we spoke, and he was like, we want, like, kind of to your point, we want to get involved more in the community. What can we do? And, not to bag on, other people. Some people I get that pretty often sometimes, and then it's like, hey, here are the opportunities. And then you don't hear back at all from some of them. Some of them do, but just the intensity that you guys came back and were like, yes, thanks for meeting with us. We want to do this, this, and this.
Yep.
Great, that's awesome. And then Kendra Herrera,
Mm-hmm.
so she's one of your engineers. I know she's on the board for Mosaic's public charter.
Mm-hmm.
She is such a wealth of knowledge, but also just in that individual, she kind of encapsulates the JTS give back to the community, do a good job, kind of person. So she came out and spoke to our Mayor's Youth.
Yep.
They tell us who they want to learn from. They said we want someone from the STEAM world.
Yeah.
And Kendra was like, I'll do it.
Yep.
She's like, this isn't my strength to speak publicly, but I will help like your students and stuff. So they appreciated her. So we just letting you know,
Yeah.
Eric, Kendra, they've been really great to work with.
And huge part, they both are a huge part of our business. I mean, we don't have time for me to go and personally thank every single person that makes JTS amazing, because there's so many. I honestly don't. But those two are. I'm glad you brought those two up to highlight. Fantastic, just huge part of our team here. Yeah.
Random question.
Yeah.
About how many people work for
We've
JTS?
got about 360 right now, and there's most of those are here in Caldwell. We do have some that are remote, sales people that are across the nation. We do have another smaller facility in Abilene, Texas. So again, we are branching out, and Caldwell headquarters is Caldwell headquarters. We are headquartered here, but we are putting kind of a little bit of a foothold down in Abilene, Texas. Abilene's a couple hours to the west of Dallas.
Okay.
So that's a place where we're headed. And so not from a headquarters
Well,
standpoint.
they're growing a lot too.
It's
So
growing.
yeah.
It absolutely is growing. So about 360 across the U.S.
Nice.
Yep.
Can you share just any challenges that you guys are facing?
Oh my goodness. One of the things that we've always said is we have just been growing so tremendously, just so rapidly over these few short years. It's tough to grow and to build out a good process as you're growing. The common phrase is, "Oh, we're flying the airplane while we're building it." You hear that, and that's pretty accurate. That's the biggest thing, is we're just growing. I would be remiss. I mentioned Mission Critical Group, our president, Greg Blake, who happens to be traveling today. Otherwise, if you had Greg Blake here, he makes me look like an absolute loser. He really is. I'm not, and I don't need to say that to kiss up to Greg, but Greg is very polished and very, very, very good at this type of thing. So sorry, you got the B student here.
We're happy with whoever we can get. So
anyways,
yeah.
But what I was going to say is, there are those challenges. Greg does a tremendous job. Greg and really the leadership team is what I would say, with helping navigate this as we just continue to grow and the demands keep getting higher from customers, and just they want more. The data center is just growing so much. We're not perfect. I don't think a perfect company exists. I haven't found one. We are striving to be better and better each day. So
Yeah, absolutely.
that's what we can do.
Can you share any notable projects or things that you guys are working on that you're excited to share?
Yeah. So I would say we're really excited about it with the Micron project here in town. I think not being from, but living in the Treasure Valley, it's exciting to see the growth that Micron is having. So we are going to be doing some of our work will be going into that project at Micron. We're all pretty excited about that, just because it's local, right? Most of our employees will be able to essentially go and say like, "Oh yeah, I built that right there." Because again, a lot of our stuff's up in some other parts, and it kind of goes off into these data center fields, and you just don't really see it. So we're excited about that one. We're excited
to have something close to home that they
Close to
can
home.
point to and say,
Yep.
we did that. Yeah.
I bent those panels. I welded that right there. I painted that. Those types of things. Really cool.
I've seen your shop a couple times. It looks like you guys are building spaceships like half the time when I'm looking over there.
Yep.
So pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Is there any? I think one last thing I'm kind of thinking about, just wanting to kind of point out is there anything that you and or your JTS team want Caldwell and the surrounding area to know about, specifically JTS?
Yeah. I think what we'd want Caldwell from a city standpoint I guess we would say, we appreciate the city. The city's been very patient with us as we've grown. There have been some challenges. I don't know if you guys were able to find parking in the parking lot, but we've had those types of things where, we've got some parking out on the street. The city's been patient with us. We appreciate the city. There have been a few little fire instances, and the fire department is right there, and So the city's been great. That's the first thing I would say. What I would want kind of the broader city and community to know is that we're excited to be here. We want to continue to help grow this area and be a solid employer that people are proud to be employed by. So you'll see that I've got some swag on, and it's not like most people that work for us, you'll see them wearing their JTS stuff here at work. And then, I hate to admit it, but I've been at Walmart and I've been wearing my JTS gear, and if someone said like, hey, JTS, and I hate to admit it in the sense because I didn't quite recognize who that person was because we've grown so much. And, being the CFO, I'm stuck behind a desk a lot and in meetings a lot. So I don't get out into the shop as much as I used to be able to and probably should. But I guess to really break it down, we want to be known as an employer that cares, and an employer that we want our people to come and have good experiences here, work hard, work safely, go home safely to their family, be proud to be building something bigger.
Yeah,
That's what we want to do.
absolutely.
Yep.
Is there anything else that you wanted to hit on before we conclude?
Um, no, I think that's pretty much it. It's been a wild ride. It's been, I've been here seeing this growth. We're excited to grow. We're excited that we're here in Caldwell, and just to continue to see that growth. We want to continue growing. We need more land. So if Caldwell could help us make some land somewhere,
Yeah, let's do that.
let's
Yep.
do that. If you were the mayor, have got a magic button that you can go create more land out of thin air, that would be great. Because, yeah, we need space, we need people, we need all the things. We're just growing and growing and growing.
Yeah.
So
Well, thank you so much, Ben. Appreciate your time.
appreciate you. Thanks for coming out, and you guys are welcome anytime.